Hi, in this video we will show you the main features of the Smart Version Control, hereinafter SVC. We have here the clear NAV 2009 R2 Kronos database with SVC objects. First of all, we need to set up the user. We will use Active Directory authentication, but we are also able to create non-Windows users on SVC server. Local repository path is the folder which will be used for temporary needs. You don't need to care about it, just make sure that you have access to this folder. Let's use temp folder. Server address is address to your SVC server. External merge tool can be any diff tool. We use Beyond Compare, but it can be Erexis, Meld, or something else. Compile objects means that the objects will be compiled after retrieving from server. Replace datetime can help us to avoid problems with different date format from different developers. We already created empty repository and the main branch. We named it trunk. Let's open them. As we can see, it's empty. We will add some objects to the repository by changing view mode to local objects. Here we can see all database objects. Select few of them and press Add to current branch. Let's change view mode back to objects per branch. Here they are. Let's do some modification and commit. Return to the Object Designer and open Table 3. I've added some text in the documentation trigger. Therefore, we can say that object has been changed. Return to the SVC and commit our changes to server. Here we have to specify task code and log message. Commit completed, and now we can see the object history. Here we have two entries, initial addition to the repository and our changes of the documentation trigger. Each entry shows us task code and log message as well as user ID and date time of commit. There are a few more great things here. First is the possibility to compare any two versions in history in the external merge tool. Let's try. Here are initial version and version with modified documentation trigger. By pressing rollback to selected version, we can easily restore any version of the object. Next thing is annotation. Here's the whole object splitted by lines and the information about who, when, and why changed each line in the object. The changes that were made in the last commit are highlighted in red. The other useful thing is task list. Each time you commit in the object, you have to specify task code. Why? Because sometime you will definitely need to find which objects was modified in particular task. In SVC, you just press task list. Left side shows you the task list and the right side shows you the objects related to selected task. Next important thing is team development and objects update in different databases. SVC supports the way when each developer works with personal database, as well as all developers work in one database simultaneously. We consider the situation when databases are personal. For example, we have two developers, John and Sandy. They work on the same project on different databases. Each developer has to perform a simple check before modifying the object. He has to get actual object state from server by pressing update. If he sees that the object is highlighted in red, it means that he has not last version of the object. In this case, he needs to update the local object. But before doing this, he wants to know which exact changes were made. This is easily done by pressing compare with server version. Now, he can see the local object and the last version from the server. Looks like everything is okay, so he can update local object by pressing get latest version. Now, he has the latest version and can continue with development. To be sure that no one will change the object while you are developing, you can lock the object and unlock it after development is finished. But even if you forget to lock the object and it was changed while you developed, it is not the problem. The SVC will allow you to merge your changes into the new version and automatically commit the result of your merge to server. The last important thing about SVC is the possibility of creating sub-branches, updating them from parent, and merging them to parent. Some branches are used in order to isolate some tasks from main branch and from release database before the task is done. We already have created one sub-branch. Let's add some objects to it. Now we need to develop some things in the sub-branch. All we need is just open it and do the development as usual. Let's commit some changes. If your development in some branch takes some time, there are always a probability that parent object may be changed by some other tasks. For this case, there is an option, development direction. Let's see how it works, but before use it, we will do some changes in parent object. Changes are committed and now we want to update our sub-branch. We open our sub-branch and change development direction to update from parent branch. Here we have the color highlighting. The objects that were changed in parent and were never modified in sub-branch are highlighted in red. They will be replaced with the object from parent automatically when pressing commit. The objects that were changed in parent and were modified in our sub-branch are highlighted in red and bold. Those objects should be merged. When pressing commit external merge tool will show our objects. Let's move changes from parent object to sub and save them. The changes were committed to sub-branch. Let's check. Bingo! When we have finished our task and it's successfully tested, then we want to transfer it to main branch. We will use development direction again. This time we choose update parent branch option. As we see, highlights the objects in two ways. Those objects which were not modified in parent from time when we copied them to sub-branch are highlighted in red. They will be simply replaced with sub-objects because there is nothing to merge. Objects that were modified in parent are highlighted in red and bold. Those objects should be merged as well as in previous step. Let's merge them. So we finished with branches. Let's close our sub-branch to avoid mess in future development. That's all, folks. Thank you for your attention. For any questions, please contact us. You can see the contact information below.